So in light of the recent news about Gary Lineker, I wanted to do a quick video just to remind employers about the importance of considering reputational risk when making decisions about employees. So when I advise employers in relation to something that's potentially contentious, we'll talk about the legal risks, we'll also talk about the commercial risks, but then also we'll discuss the reputational risks of the decisions that you make. Now, had I been advising the BBC in relation to this, I would have advised them to handle it very differently. So regardless of whether they had a policy that covers off social media or whether their views are that you shouldn't express political views on your own social media, etc. The point is, had someone had a quiet word with Gary Lineker and said, actually, do you know what, your tweet was contrary to our policies and procedures and we'd prefer it if you didn't do this again, then hardly anyone would have heard about it. Or it would have only been Gary's followers on Twitter and maybe a few news agencies that maybe picked it up. But it wouldn't be the news story it is. It wouldn't be the controversy it is. And ultimately, it wouldn't have caused such huge reputational issues for the BBC had they not dealt with it in the way that they have. The fact of suspending him has brought the tweet and what he said into the public light much wider than it would have been otherwise. So even those people who don't watch Match of the Day, who don't follow football, or maybe even don't even know who Gary Lineker is, now know exactly what Gary said in his tweet, what the BBC's position is on it, and everybody has formed a view. So as an employer, it's really important to take time to consider what you're going to do, to consider the action you're going to take, and the reputational risks that can come with that. So it may be, yes, legally you're perfectly within your rights to suspend, legally you're perfectly within your rights to discipline somebody for something, but actually the reputational risk can be huge. Now, the BBC is a bit of an exception because of the publicity and how widely it is known, but the same thing goes in smaller organisations. Now that could be reputationally with your customers, with the wider community, or it can just be with your own staff and potential candidates. So it's important to think about how the decisions that you make about employees will impact your reputation amongst your workforce and those people who may potentially want to come and work for you.